I did not mean to go like that. I guess that we don't need a thumbnail, and that's a-okay. We're on a little dog walkings, and I wanted to talk about the debate. Um, you know, haven't really weighed in much on YouTube. If you're watching the TNT show, if you're watching Making Sense of the Madness, you're definitely going to get a little bit of a flavor there. But hey, 70,000 plus subscribers, zero people watching the live stream. Zero people. It's just incredible, really. You know, someone needs to sue YouTube into the ground. They need to sue Google into the ground. They need to get rid of all of their government contracts. I mean, my goodness, it is pretty wild. So there's a bunch of stuff I want to talk about other than Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, etc. I think we are going to get another debate. I think that the debate itself was kind of blah. It was kind of meh. It wasn't exciting to me. There obviously wasn't a lot of new stuff, but I was expecting a much worse performance from Kamala Harris. And in fact, I thought, as far as her past media performances, forget about debates went, she did a stellar job. That doesn't mean that I thought what she had to say was good or relevant, but when you watched it, you noticed that she didn't cackle. The only time that she smiled was when she was getting ready, really, to call Donald Trump a liar. Obviously, the moderators didn't challenge her on any of her quote-unquote facts. But now, I guess, television news reports are like the internet in the early 2000s. You remember when you tell somebody something, or you bring up a piece of information, and they would go, "Oh, would you see that on the internet?" Now, media, it's funny, television news media moderators, when Donald Trump brought up the incidents in Springfield, Ohio, of Haitians eating pets, okay? And he said that he saw it on the television, okay? Now there's been some news reports. There have been people at city council meetings, but you've got body cam footage from police officers that's made the media. The mainstream news just goes, nope, we asked the experts, and they have told us that there are no creditable reports. That's the new thing, right? They just frame it in a manner where they act like you're a liar, and then they lie by essentially not giving you a definitive answer. Notice they didn't say, no, that's not happening. They say, no, there's no credible official reports. Oh, okay. I see how it goes. By the way, let's thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. I do want to let everybody know. In less than 2 hours, I will be live on TNT.news, where I do my daily show 5 days a week. After that, it is 3 to 5 Eastern, but at 5 Eastern, you can also check me out at patriot.tv. Yesterday's episode was with Larry Klayman. Obviously, it was the 9/11 anniversary episode. I honestly thought we were going to get more into 9/11 itself than we had. Larry Klayman represented 2 FBI whistleblowers that had blown the whistle on Operation Vulgar Betrayal, and the aspects of that operation having to do with the Bin Laden network and Saudi financing. Okay? But it ended up being this kind of hodgepodge episode of all these different events. I certainly disagree with Larry on a number of things, including his take on UFOs and aliens, which he brought up. I wasn't expecting that either, but entertaining nonetheless. The kind of shows that, we really get to explore some interesting topics with not only interesting people, but people I've put in my films in the past, right? Today, I just filmed with Pedro Israel Orta. He is a former CIA agent, whistleblower, and filmmaker. Frank Panico, Deep State Gangsters, is going to be their new film. Really interesting interview. I believe that one's going to air on Monday. So definitely make sure to go check that out. I do want to mention that, again, if you've been following me and watching the shows, you know I've been talking about this spacewalk that occurred this morning, in the wee hours of the morning. Now, I actually watched it. Live. Couldn't sleep last night very well. And I was up at something like 4 in the morning Central Time. And I noticed that this SpaceX Dragon rocket or whatever was streaming everywhere. People were tweeting about it. But I don't think people understand the significance of what this is. This is a shift from NASA into the quote-unquote privatized space arena, which is anything but. It's not privatized, folks. It's military-industrial complex contracts. It's a new coat of paint on an old house, all right? Now, here's the thing. This is arguably one of the most significant moments in space travel if what you saw was real. And I watched it, and I don't know what to tell you. You watched a couple astronauts going out of a capsule and doing a spacewalk just under 1,000 miles above the Earth, okay? Now, they said 1,400 kilometers. Now, if you listen closely to some of the interviews, and there was like this weird thing with the 2 male and the 2 female astronauts, where yesterday they were streaming with basically people that had lost loved ones via the military for this organization. Thought it was kind of bizarre, but whatever. But they mentioned in there, hey, this is the furthest a woman has ever gone into space. That's not even debatable. So if they're telling us the truth, and they are 900 miles up there, that would 100% be the furthest any woman has been in space ever. Now, I want people to really think about that, okay? They're telling you that we're going to the moon and we're going to Mars. Folks, the spacewalk, you'd need 250 times the altitude just to get to the moon, let alone get back. Mars, it's not even in the same realm, okay? So you can watch that video. It's out there now. It occurred in my time, 5-something in the morning, right? And they lost the feed a couple times here and there. They even had a helmet cam inside of the astronaut's helmet, kind of showing them going up through the hole, etc. The Earth itself was pretty visible throughout. As time progresses, and it's a pretty short period of time, it does get essentially blacked out. And that's the thing, you're in the blackness of space. You're in the blackness of space. And I want to remind people, yeah, SpaceX is getting a lot of the media play and the recognition. But you also have Blue Origin, which is the Bezos outfit. So look, NASA was supposed to always be kind of this privatized non-government agency. It was a front for many, many years, and probably still is, for the recruitment of officers in black programs. And what do I mean by that? Well, again, you look at Area 51, you look at the types of propulsion systems and aircraft that were developed during that time period, and you see what's going on. And a lot of those people that were recruited, say, for the Ox Cart project or whatever, they thought they were going to be working for NASA. And instead, they ended up working on these programs that were classified for decades, many of which are still classified to this day. So, folks, I might make this a short one. We're at about 10 minutes. You know the drill. We're live 3 hours a day. I do want to thank everybody who is supporting me, who is watching the broadcast. It is hard for me to be able to repost every single day with a lot of these things because I got the dog here. We got to do the dog walk. I got 3 hours on hair. I got 2 hours of preparation. I've got a kids volleyball game to go to tonight. And by the time that's all said and done, we'll probably be well into the afternoon, into the evening, 6, 7 p.m. Fall is here. You know, it's going to get dark, etc. But I do want to remind everybody that I couldn't do it without you. And I really do appreciate you. And even the last walk and talk, I want to thank the one person for your generous PayPal donation. Every little bit always helps. And especially when we are trying to do more and more independent projects. Ryan Christian, the Last American Vagabond, just had Catherine Austin Fitz on his program where they were talking about the Independent Media Alliance. Okay, and this is with some of the best indie journalists of all time, in my opinion, from Derek Brose to Whitney Webb to Richard Andrew Grove, James Corbett, and myself, amongst the dozen or so independent journalists that, even outside of my shows or whatever, are joining forces, much like the Justice League, to continue to give you a perspective that goes outside of the left-right political boundaries and mores that so many people find themselves beholden to. I can always promise you, to me, it is not about left or right. It is always about right and wrong. I absolutely love you guys, and we will see you on the flip side.